Hey guys, coming at you from my bed. Let me tell you what, this has been the week from hell. And I was doing so good, wasn't I? Well, let's backtrack. So, Tuesday, my niece came over and we were, she was getting some stuff done. She comes over and helps me out around the house. And by the time she left, probably around 4 o'clock in the afternoon, I was feeling really nauseous and my flank was hurting on my left side. So, I just started going downhill rapidly from there. I started getting a headache. I felt like I might be running a fever. I just really wasn't feeling good at all. Um, Shivering, lots of pain in my left flank. Luckily, I still had some Dilaudid left from my surgery, so I took one of those. That's how bad the pain was, because I was saving them puppies for like when my back completely went out or something, but I was in pain, so took one of those. And I got to thinking, and I was talking to her because she recently had a kidney infection, and my symptoms were the same as hers. Um, and I'm wondering how long I had it, because I had finished my period. So I'm wondering if like I was mistaking the kidney pain for like part of my cramping, but I was also noticing some pain with my urination. It wasn't burning though, it was more like just a little bit of pain in my bladder. But again, I was just getting over my period, so I was thinking it's something funky going on with my period. Like I just had a really bad period this time. So by Wednesday when I woke up, I was so sick, and I called her because I let her take my car at like 9:30 in the morning. I was like, can you come now? I was dry heaving. Um, it was just bad. So she took me in to patient first, and they said that I had a UTI infection that had probably gone into my kidneys and that I was severely dehydrated. So they've got an IV in me and gave me a bag of fluids and some antibiotic IVs. Then sent me home with they gave me a shot of morphine and a shot of anti-nausea meds, and then sent me home with some antibiotic and told me to follow up the next day. So I got home that night, and again, I don't think the pain was as bad in my kidney. I don't remember. Um, but my fever was going up. Like it went up to like 101 that night. And I was taking Tylenol like every 4 hours, and waking up, shaking and shivering. And then I would take Tylenol, my fever would break, and I'd fall back asleep. And then 4 hours later, I'd be up again taking more Tylenol. And then I was still kind of feeling nauseous. I wasn't dry heaving anywhere near as bad, but it was still like not feeling really good. I almost did not go back to patient first. I came like this close because I really don't like the hospital. And no, I'm not naked. I have a shirt on. You just can't see it, see? um, so, sorry, I'm still tired. So, where was I? Okay, so we didn't go into patient first probably till like 2 o'clock in the afternoon on Thursday. And I almost didn't go, but I was like, your fever was up last night. Like, your kidneys aren't anything you want to mess around with. You really need to go. So I went back into patient first, and they kind of looked at me and they're like, I was doing a little bit better. Like, my breathing wasn't as labored. It wasn't as bad. I wasn't vomiting as bad as the day before. So, but they're like, you still need more fluids and more antibiotics. We're going to try to keep you out of the ER. So when it comes to getting blood on me, I'm not easy. I do have one really good vein in my right arm, and they had used that the day before. So I was there for 3 hours. They they were trying to get urine from me, and I could not pee. Like I probably drank 3 8-ounce cups of water, in addition to all the fluid I was drinking at home because I was pushing fluids because I knew I had a UTI infection. Um, and I could not give them urine for the life of me. So they, I'm losing my train of thought. They couldn't get a vein on me, and I couldn't give them urine. I think I finally did at the end. And then they went ahead and did a fingerprint just to do a white blood cell count. And they said my white blood cell count had jumped from the day before, even though they had given me intravenous antibiotics. And then when I finally did give them a urine sample, they said I had white blood cell counts in my urine. So they're like, you're still dehydrated. Your white blood cell count is going up, so that means the infection is not headed in the right direction. You need to go to the emergency room. So I had my niece take me across the street to the emergency room. Instead of going to my bariatric hospital, which was probably going to be like a half-hour drive in the rain and with the traffic, and I was just sick. I was like, I just want to get this over with. Give me my fluids, my antibiotics, so I can get home. So we got to the hospital, and it was jam-packed. I mean, the waiting area was completely full. There was nowhere to sit. I'm like, I'm going to be here for an hour. But by the time they triaged me and then called me back, they had me back in a room in the ER within an hour. Apparently, I was a level 2 priority. So that got me back there quickly. So they got a line in me to get some blood done. Sent me for a chest x-ray because I was coughing, and sent me for a CAT scan on my kidneys. So number one, I have a 3 millimeter kidney stone, which I know is not big in the world of kidney stones, but I've never had one before. So that was one issue. Number two, I was severely dehydrated still, even after a bag of fluids. My blood pressure was extremely low. It was like 79/55 or something ridiculous like that. And this is from someone who's had high blood pressure problems in the past. And the scariest thing was when the doctor talked to my ex, because he had come up, and then the nurse came in and relayed the information. I was in what they consider kidney failure. My kidneys were not functioning properly. I had a creatinine, I'm not sure how to pronounce it, I'm sorry, level of over, it was like 2.1 or something like that, which is not good. So basically my kidneys were not functioning correctly. I was severely dehydrated, which was causing my blood pressure to bottom out, and I had a kidney stone. So I was a sick puppy. So next thing I know, they are admitting me into the hospital. I never thought in a million years that I was going to get admitted. Apparently, that's how sick I was. So that was Thursday night. I did not get out till Sunday afternoon. So I was there for a good 72 hours. Totally 72, 48? Yep. Crazy. Yeah, it took them a good 24 hours to start getting my blood pressure up. So I probably had about 4 bags of fluids before they started kicking in. They ran me on IV antibiotics every 12 hours. They were worried about sepsis, so they had to do blood cultures. At this point, finally, by Saturday, my white blood cell count was looking good, and my kidney function had improved. So everything was headed in the right direction. But they wanted to keep me one more day in hopes that the blood cultures would come back, because their concern was that I had gone into sepsis, which I haven't heard from them today, so I don't think that I did. And I think my white blood cell count probably wouldn't have improved so well if I had. So they wanted me to stay one more night on Saturday night, and I'm glad that I did, because all of a sudden, guess what starts happening? here comes my kidney stone pain again. And that's probably because they gave me something called Flomax. They weren't sure if I passed the kidney stone or not once I started urinating again, because I didn't urinate for like close to 24 hours. But then it picked up and I started going a lot because of all the fluids they were giving me. Plus, I was drinking fluids on my own and really pushing them. So they gave me something called Flomax to push the kidney stone through if I hadn't passed it yet. And lo and behold, Saturday night, like I started having pain in my kidney again. So they said it's probably moving. So I'm glad that happened, because up to that point I hadn't asked for any pain medication. I hadn't only asked for Tylenol on occasion because I had a really bad headache. So luckily they gave me some Oxy and that took care of the pain. Um, and then finally Sunday, when I had stabilized, they had taken me off fluids, and things were still looking good. My blood pressure, was still good. They went ahead and discharged me on Sunday with a prescription for the Flomax, with a prescription for antibiotics, and with a prescription for pain medication. Thank goodness, because whenever I take the Flomax, which kind of helps this thing move along, I am in pain. So it's been quite a week, because all this started on Tuesday and today is Monday. I'm feeling a lot better. I feel tired though. I feel weak. I feel nauseous, especially when that kidney stone pain kicks in, which I don't think I've hit the worst of it yet. I'm really hoping that it hits here soon. I just want to get it over with. Um, and I guess the moral of this story is, ooh, I was just checking to make sure we're still recording. To drink your fluids. I thought I was doing okay. Apparently, I wasn't doing okay. Um, I was shooting for 48 ounces every day, and I probably have been falling short and getting more like 32. Um, and it caught up with me. And then on top of having high protein, my kidneys were like, okay, we're done. And then just being severely dehydrated. So from now on, fluids are my priority. Yes, I'm going to try to get my protein in, but fluids are number one for me. They're my best friend. I'm getting in 64 ounces a day, period. I've got to do it. So be a lesson that those fluids are so important. And, I'm not sure that it's something that happened all of a sudden. You know, I'm 3 months out, and it's funny because, well, it's not funny, but a lot of my bariatric Facebook support groups, people that are at my same stage about 3 months out are starting to have the same issues. And I think that like the dehydration kind of slowly creeps up on you if you're not careful. So drink that water or your Crystal Light or whatever it may be. And of course, here I am drinking decaffeinated tea, thinking that's okay. I read an article that said tea was bad for kidney stones. So much for that. But I'm finding that I'm really enjoying like a third of like 1 part orange juice or cranberry juice to 2 parts water. So in a 32-ounce bottle, I might be getting 4 to 6 ounces of juice, and the rest is water. And I find that I enjoy that. I've been putting it in my Camelback, which I can drink a lot easier than also just drinking regular water. But that's got to come first. And then I'm also thinking about the night before I ended up in the hospital, I got this big thing of wonton soup and drank just the broth, thinking that was great. And I'm wondering if like the salt was just too much for my kidneys. So I don't know, but I can't beat myself up. I'm on the mend. Probably really nothing I could have done about the kidney stone. I just have to, try to eat kidney healthy foods and just be careful in the future. Had it just been a kidney stone, I'm sure they would have sent me home with pain meds and just told me to let it pass. But yeah, the kidney infection was really serious, and being so dehydrated was serious. So let me be your lesson. And I just wanted to check in. I'm not going to let this get me down. I was kind of, you know, starting to feel like, why did I do this? Like going through that whole thing, like, is this because of the surgery? Like, you've never had this happen before? Because if I got behind and I was really thirsty before, I would down like 3 bottles of water over the course of an hour. You know, I could catch up. Can't really do that once you're a weight loss surgery patient. So I was starting to feel that way, and then I'm laying there and I'm like thinking about my mom and my sister, and they struggled with obesity their whole life, and actually both of my sisters did, but my one sister died and was not related to obesity causes, but definitely for my other sister and my mom, obesity was definitely played a factor in their passing, with diabetes and strokes and all of that. So I was laying there and I'm like, you might be in the hospital right now, but it's something that's fixable and you'll come out the other side. Had you not gotten the surgery, you probably would have had many more days like this ahead of you in the hospital with much more serious things. Even though what I was going through was serious, it was something that I caught that was fixable, and a stroke or a heart attack or neuropathy from diabetes or my organs shutting down from diabetes, any of those things could be far worse, and things that would have continued to happen to me, or will continue to happen to me if I don't get my obesity under control. So I'm like, I'm grateful I got the surgery because I'm going through this right now, but this is temporary. And had I not gotten the surgery, I would have been in for the last years of my life, definitely being in a hospital bed. So grateful for the surgery. Feeling a little emotional because I just want to get better. I have Disney in 5 weeks, so we got to get this stone out of me. I got to get back in class on Friday because I have auditions for our upcoming competition teams, so I got to get in there for that. I'm saying I'm a lot. I'm sorry. But that's it. I haven't been eating well. I did okay in the hospital. They had me on a cardiac diet, which limited what I could have. Like, I wanted a hard-boiled egg, and they would not let me have it. So I ate a lot of oatmeal. I had some fish one day. I was nauseous. I honestly, I ate crackers, like saltines, just because I felt sick. Today I had half of a Ezekiel English muffin, which is a sprouted grain English muffin. Half is perfect size for me. Any more than that would be too much. And I did have some popcorn today. Don't hurt me. Ooh, it was skinny popcorn, and it went down really easily. I haven't had any protein today. The thought of it makes me want to vomit. So I'm wondering if that's just because, I know protein can be a little harder on your kidneys. So I'm just wondering if my body is kind of telling me what it needs. And it's not like I'm eating a bunch of bread or ordering ice cream or pasta. Like, I had some popcorn and I had half of a healthy, it's supposed to be healthy. It's Ezekiel, if you're familiar with it, English muffin. I would kill for some Wendy's chili right now, but neither one of my kids drive, so I don't think that's going to happen. So maybe some soup for dinner if I can stomach it. I did have part of a pork chop last night, so that was a little bit of protein. So I'll try to have something with protein in it tonight, but it's not feeling good. So I will check back in with you guys in a couple days and let you know how you're doing. Of course, my surgical program was not happy with me that I did not go to their hospital. However, even though I love my surgeon, I think he's the best of the best, I did not love the staff at the hospital. My stay there was miserable for my surgery now that I think back. My stay at Howard County General, which is where I went this time, was stellar. My nurse the first night was a little cranky, but I think that's because my ex was there and he can be difficult. But other than that, my nurses were phenomenal. The doctors were phenomenal. I felt like I was in safe, good, qualified, attentive, caring hands. So I'm happy that I went there. I would probably go there in the future for anything that was not bariatric related. If I had stomach issues or intestinal issues, I would definitely go to the hospital that my surgeon practices out of. But I knew Howard County General could handle what I was going through. So I was in good hands. And I'm supposed to follow up with the urologist. I'm supposed to follow up with the infectious disease doctor because she was handling like the kidney infection and all of that. And I'm supposed to follow up with my bariatric surgeon. Woo, and my primary care physician. So I'm probably going to be busy. Today I didn't call to make any appointments. I'm hoping tomorrow I'll feel a little bit better. So if you guys could like, share, subscribe, and also send me some kidney stone passing vibes, please, that I pass this kidney stone quickly within the next day or two. That would be awesome. So you guys have a great week, and hopefully I'll talk to you soon. Bye.